Most people multiply their suffering. They experience a negative event over and over again in their minds, suffering each and every time as they relive the painful experience. Would you allow me to point out to you a better way? It's taken me years to understand this, so good for you for tuning in today. Let's get started. Welcome to Success Sundays with Harrison. I'm your host, Harrison Wilder. I'm a corporate strategist and entrepreneur with an executive MBA from the George Washington University. I've managed two multi-million-dollar companies, and I advise top-level executives from a variety of industries. In this show, you'll find practical insights that will help you succeed as a leader in today's business environment. If you're serious about developing your skills as an executive, this is the place for you. Enjoy today's episode. Have you ever dreaded something so much that you felt like you were suffering? Before you even experienced the dreaded event, you were already in pain. I used to dread going to staff meetings. I'd wake up in the morning before a staff meeting, loathing the fact that I have to go. And while I took my morning shower, I'd think of all the things people were going to say that would annoy me. I envisioned how unproductive it was going to be. I could see every argument. By the time I got to the staff meeting, I was already prepared to have a bad experience. And guess what usually happened? Of course it was a bad experience. I had created the bad experience in my mind before I even got there. Then to make matters worse, I would regret it for the rest of the day, feeling bad about how I behaved or the things that I said, reliving the experience over and over again. Most people multiply their suffering. They experience it 3 times or more, once in their imagination before an event, then during the actual event, and then over and over again as they relive the regretful experience. Would you allow me to point you a better way? What if you could multiply joy in your life instead? Well, you can, and it all begins with exactly what you've been discovering in this program. The power of seeing in your imagination. The simple fact that I was dreading the staff meeting reveals that I had a desire for how those staff meetings would go and should go. I just hadn't taken the time to focus in on what they would look like if they were exactly as I wanted them to be. It's the same for you and the experiences that you're dreading right now. If you focused your imagination on it, you would be able to see exactly how you desire your experience to actually go. Now, release the power of your imagination as far as you can take it. What happens with the experience the way you desire it? How do people respond? How do you respond to things that used to trigger you? What is everyone saying about the experience afterward? What did it feel like to have it go down exactly the way that you want it to? I'll tell you how it feels. Joyful. You've just experienced joy before the experience even occurs. And just by seeing it clearly ahead of time, you've also increased the likelihood that you're going to have a joyful experience in the moment as well. And finally, now that you've created a great experience, you can think back to that experience over and over again and relive it in your memory forever. Manifold joy. Now, I'm not saying that everything will always go the way you've planned it, but even if something unexpected should go wrong, why not just be blindsided? At least then you didn't have to suffer the event twice. And you may just be so full of joy that the event won't even faze you. You have now discovered in this show the first step of the order of creation. And I don't want you to underestimate the power of what you have learned. Nothing that exists has ever existed before it was first seen in the immaterial world. And any desire that God places within you can be materialized and brought to pass. In fact, in the eyes of God, a dream acted on is as good as done. As soon as it's developed in the spiritual realm and the work begins, there is rejoicing in heaven. I love this verse from the prophet Zechariah. He saw a vision of Zerubbabel building the temple of God in Jerusalem. And God says to him this, "Do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. to see the plumb line in Zerubbabel's hand. In other words, God doesn't wait to rejoice until the work is finished. He sees the end of a work from the moment that the measurements are starting to be made, from the minute that it is formed in the imagination of his children. Can I encourage you today? God is speaking to you in the secret place of your heart. He is sharing with you his dreams and desires for your life. The time is coming when everything that is covered will be revealed, and all that is secret will be made known to all. The Bible says, "What I tell you now in darkness, shout abroad when daybreak comes. What I whisper in your ear, shout from the mountaintops for all to hear." See, the time is coming soon when every desire that is hidden in your heart right now will be on display for all to see. It's already time to rejoice. That's why I love this verse. Blessed is she or he who believed that there will be a fulfillment of what had been spoken to her or him by the Lord. Here's a success challenge for this week. What's the next thing coming up in your life that you've been dreading? Remember, you dread it only because you desire for it to go a different way. So this time, instead of imagining how terrible it's going to be, flip it around in your imagination. What would it look like if everything went the way you actually desired it to go? Focus in on it in your imagination until it becomes a clear picture. Pay special attention to what it will feel like when things happen the way that you desire it to go. And then allow yourself to develop an expectation that it may go just as you see it. When you do, write in and tell me how it all goes down, because I'll bet you'll see some things change almost immediately. If you have any questions for me that I might be able to help you with on a future episode, post them down in the comments below. I love to create content that's super helpful and relevant for you, so put them in the comments and my team will tee up those ideas to me for future episodes. Until then, have a great week and I'll see you next time. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You know, great businesses and great leaders are built using effective communication. For more, go to speakingschool.com, grab my Elite Business Success Toolkit for free just for trying out our Speaking School membership. That's speakingschool.com. See you next time.